Hi, everybody, and welcome into this week's show here on JTV as we get another week closer to season 27 of high school football back on JTV Sports, August 28th. So, as we started last week, we were at Football Media Days. We started our annual interviews. 10 teams over the next couple of weeks. We did, I think, 2 or 3 last week. And
three of them, yeah.
Yes, and we'll have 3 more interviews to show you on the show today. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency, West Michigan's family-driven insurance solution provider, myinsuranccircle.com or 269-200-2905. I'm David Rice. That is Adam, proudly wearing his Tigers hat. They are playing a lot better.
How about them Tigers? How about them Tigers?
I know I didn't sound very optimistic a few weeks ago. We were talking about trading somebody or not. I didn't lose hope about the whole season. I was just saying, just enough with the drama. Trade him now. Just move on.
Yeah. Looks like we've done that. And got rid of Casey Mize.
Yeah, and they've been playing better after they traded both of them. And playing better than the Dodgers since the trade.
Yeah, and you can argue that we're the hottest offense in all of baseball. With the amount of runs that we've scored over our last few games, I don't have the stats here, but we've scored an insane amount of runs. A lot of 8-0 games, like 11 runs, like crazy good
The run
play.
differential is huge.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily reflect the record that they have because they've lost a lot of close one-run games.
Right. I mean, that obviously is a huge issue. But the other issue, too, that we ran into is we had such a slow start. So, now everything is starting to come together. And one game behind in the wild card. We are right there, man. And with a critical series for the division coming up as well. A couple critical series.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. Tigers are 58-60 last week. And this past weekend, they went 7-2 on their West Coast road trip. Really good outing from Jackson Jobe, his return on Saturday, national audience game, and had 5 scoreless innings, and the Tigers won 7-0 on Saturday, 8-0 actually.
Yeah, and he came out and threw heat immediately. He threw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to get his first strikeout, I think, and it was like, okay, this is kind of picking up where he left off, so that was a good sign, but to pair him with Troy Melton and a couple of the other guys, Valdez, all those guys, I'm feeling kind of encouraged, even without Scooble.
So now that they're 58-60, that puts them 1 game back of the wild card. 1. And only 3.5 back of first in the American League Central.
Yeah.
They could, depending on how things shake up this week, take over the division, too.
I mean, they realistically could do that with just winning these series. They don't have to sweep these series. If they can win these series, they could potentially be first place at the end of these next 2. So,
Troy Melton's got the best ERA in baseball at 1.46. He has been dealing.
He's been lights out, man. And I'm just so surprised that it's just the second we lose 2 guys, honestly, or two of our best pitchers, to get somebody like Troy Melton and now Jackson Jobe back, it's the perfect situation for us. So I just hope that they continue to play well because we need them in the postseason if that happens.
Yeah, we lost Scooble. You lose Casey Mize, but don't worry. Troy Melton's here to save the day.
Were you surprised? I was personally surprised about the Casey Mize thing. I knew he only had 1 year left on his deal, him and Flaherty and Scooble, but
I was still kind of surprised. I had heard, there's rumors all over trade rumors, so you don't really believe most of what you see on,
sure.
This person's going to go here, whatever. I had heard his name in a few different places, but I didn't think they would also get rid of him because they got rid of Scooble, too.
Yeah.
But they did. I was surprised they made a deal with the Padres.
Yeah, I was surprised with that. But one thing quick about the Scooble deal is he did come out and say that he would be open to coming back for the Tigers to sign a long-term deal after this season.
I think he just wanted to go try to win a ring now.
Yeah, and I was telling somebody else this the other day is we gave him the best situation, right? We didn't take him to a team that is a borderline team or a team that's going to miss the playoffs. We didn't make a trade like that. We traded him to his best possible situation. So that had to make him feel at least a little bit better. So I'm hoping that does open the door. I know a lot of pitchers say that and then they don't come back, but how crazy would it be if we traded him, we'd still do well, make a postseason, maybe do something in the postseason without him, and then he comes back and signs a long-term deal with us. Money's just got to match. The money that they offered him 2 years ago was laughable. It was like he'd be a middle-tier pitcher for that pay. So that
probably still be laughable now. We're cheap.
Yeah.
We're cheap, you know what. So
yeah, and I mean, we still got Baez's contract and Valdez has a big contract, but those are the only 2 big contracts on our team anymore. So,
and sure, Javi Baez is okay, but not for the money that he's being paid.
Dude, he's got, 2 home runs on the year, which you don't have to be a crazy home run hitter, but that's not the Baez that we're used to. And, I mean, his batting average is okay. It's not anything crazy, so I hope that he turns
moved down
around
to the very bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, which you kind of have to, especially with some of these guys that are hitting right now.
Huge week this week, Tuesday through Thursday at home against Cleveland, and then a weekend series at Comerica against the Chicago White Sox. Both Cleveland and the White Sox played against each other over the weekend in a series. And then next week, Monday through Wednesday, August 17th through 19th, Detroit is at PNC Park at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Monday's game, the 17th, will be national on ESPN. That'll be Valdez against Paul Skeens.
Wow, big matchup. And Pittsburgh, that's one of the most beautiful parks in all of baseball. That is an awesome ballpark.
Real quick, before, because you mentioned Tarek Skubel's comments about maybe coming back,
yeah.
I want to talk about that in a second. While we're talking about ballparks, what is your favorite ballpark in all of ML? Well, besides Comerica Park.
You got me. It's funny enough, it's the ballpark that they were just at. It's formerly AT&T Park, now Oracle Park. Still call it AT&T Park. But with having McCovey Cove there and having just the big Pepsi sign in left field with the big glove, all that stuff, it looks the trolley out there in left center. Like, it is an awesome, awesome ballpark. I think that's top of my list of ballparks I'd like to go to. Other than that, I would say, PNC is really nice, and then it's the classics. It's, Wrigley, it's Fenway, Yankee Stadium, even the new one is really cool. And even though a lot of people don't like it, I think the Angels ballpark is pretty cool.
I do like the Angels ballpark.
I think it's cool.
I know we're in the minority. But
yeah, a lot of people think it's kind of outdated, but something about that waterfall thing that they got going on in left field is really cool. What about yours? Any ballparks come to mind?
I really like Pittsburgh. Besides the classics, another one I like, the Blue Jays, Rogers Center. The Dome, which can have the open roof. They got the hotel rooms.
And JTV's own Max Fritz is going to be visiting the Rogers Center.
Oh, he's going to a game?
Yep, he's going to go to 3 games when he's there. So he'll be able to tell us all about it.
Yeah. Maybe he can send us a picture. We'll have to show it.
And for a dome, I typically don't like dome ballparks for...
do you like Seattle Stadium?
I do. Like, it used to be Safeco. I think it's T-Mobile now, I think.
T-Mobile Park?
I think it's T-Mobile Park. That is a really cool venue. And that has the retractable roof. I really like Houston's. I think the train feature on the top is really cool. Retractable roof. Like, there's some cool ballparks with retractable roofs. I
do like, you just mentioned the park and I just forgot about it. Oh, the Giants.
Yes, yeah. I always say Comerica's the best ballpark. I know it's not, but to me it is. But that ballpark is something special, and a lot of people say that that's the best ballpark. I mean, the fact that you have McCovey Cove right there, and you have the splash hits that they keep track of, and all the history of Bonds and everything, it's a really cool park.
Another weird thing, I just told you before the show, College Football 27, the new video game that's out now, they are adding one NFL stadium as an option in the game.
What is it?
That would be arguably, besides maybe Wrigley and Fenway, the most iconic stadium in sports, Lambeau Field.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Soldier Field.
No. No, they're in Gary, Indiana. Lambeau Field, home of the 13-time
cool.
world champion Green Bay Packers.
That's actually pretty sick. I did start my franchise or my dynasty in there and had a game at Ford Field, so I know Ford Field's in there. It was like the MAC championship or something like that. So Ford Field was in there, but that's really cool. I'll have to see. Is that already out? The stadium?
I think they're adding it tomorrow or this week.
I'll have to check it out.
Because there's actually a game in real life being played there, Wisconsin Notre Dame Week 1, Sunday night, Lambeau Field.
One thing they added in that game that I thought was kind of cool that I don't remember it being in the last few games is like I was playing a game and it was like the first quarter, it was like overcast. Second and third quarter, it was a torrential downpour. And then the fourth quarter, completely like opened, the skies just completely cleared. And it was like a beautiful night. And it was like kind of cool that like per quarter, it almost like changed the weather.
How do you
like
do
in
that?
Real life. It just happened to me while I was playing. Like while I was playing, it was like, and it could have been a glitch, I don't know. But it was like.
It probably was.
It almost changed like in real life how sometimes it'll open up for like a few minutes, like 30 minutes, and then it'll clear up. It kind of did that. So if that's actually in the game, that was a good choice by them because definitely realistic.
Real quick, before we preview our Media Day interviews here, thank you to Prate's Place, downtown Grass Lake. I believe Food Circus is at Prate's Place this week.
Yeah, it's either this week or next week. I can't remember. But yeah, that was a fun shoot. You were there for one of the first days that we did it. We went back a few times, and they had some awesome food. I took home so much food at the end of that shoot.
You did?
Oh, yeah. I had leftovers for a while. It was great.
I was a witness of that.
Yeah. Pizza, burgers. There was the salads. It was all really good. So I can definitely vouch for
Careful with the lettuce.
Yep, that's right. Not there, though. Taco Bell. Got to watch out for it at Taco Bell.
Actually, that same farm that got blamed for the lettuce, Taylor Farms, they just had to recall some other things, too, because of salmonella.
Trouble. Well, I can imagine, like, the hit of money that Taco Bell took during that time, because I bet you people now, even though they've gotten rid of it, people now
I'm sure they're still doing okay.
For sure.
Anyways, thank you to Prate's Place. Their lettuce is good, though.
Their lettuce is awesome.
You can get their burger and beer combo with the Prate's Place lager. They have pizza, smoked meats, and tacos, and all the appetizers and everything. They have live music, Cornhole League on Thursdays, and so much more. So scan the QR code, downtown Grass Lake, or order online at pratesplace.com. We started it last week. We are continuing our countdown to JTV's 27th season of high school football coverage. And on the show today, we'll have 3 more interviews to show you from our media days a few weeks ago. 10 teams. We had 3 last week and 3 today. Coming up on the show this week, off a historic season for the Hanover Horton Comets. First ever district title, first ever playoff win. Made the regional final, only lost to a very good Schoolcraft team by 1 score. Hanover Horton head coach David Messer and running back Austin Hochter. Also, after that, we'll feature the head coach of the Vikings, the host from our event, Jackson High School, Antonio Parker. They struggled last year. They've got a lot of speed and athleticism and a lot of senior leaders returning to their team this year. So I expect them to be better. We'll have them week 1 at home in a great rematch against Western.
I think that's gonna be a fun game. We touch on it in the interview, but I think that's gonna be a fun game. It was one of my favorite games of last year too, which I know I told Coach Parker that, and I know he's probably like that wasn't his favorite game, but it was one of my favorite games of last year. So I hope to see some fireworks in there, and I think both teams have a really good shot.
They both have a lot coming back.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll wrap up the show with the head coach of the Mounties, Northwest High School, Stafford Newsom, which Jackson and Northwest play each other week 9 as a non-conference game, too. Yeah. So Hanover Horton Comets coming up next. JTV High School Football Media Days here at Jackson High School with the Hanover Horton Comets. Head coach David Messer going into his 5th season, and running back Austin Hochter. Thank you both of you for time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
So 9-3 last year, first ever conference title and first ever district title. lost by just one score in the regional final. And both of you can answer. How fun was that last year? Just all the history being made and winning those important games.
I think it was a blast, especially to be on the field. But obviously, we have a lot more to prove this year, just to keep it going and keep improving.
I mean, obviously, we had a lot of fun, accomplishing things that never been accomplished in school history. But, you know, as soon as one day was over, it was on to the next day. As soon as one game was over, it was on to the next game. And sometimes you forget to slow down and smell the roses a little bit. But it was a great group of seniors we had last year, and I'm really looking forward to the group we got this year.
Was there a point during the season where you kind of knew, hey, we've got a really good group and we can win some big games?
Yeah, I mean, we took a couple of butt kickings week 1 and week 3. We got beat up pretty good. We weren't super healthy at that point. Then we got healthy, moved a couple guys around. J.J. Russ and Colin got moved to outside linebacker. And from that point on, we just became a different defense. And I think we were consistent all year, offensively. But we gave up a lot of points in week 1 and week 3. And then after we moved Colin and JJ, we really turned a corner and kind of became a lockdown defense after that.
For you, Austin, going back to the district final against Bronson, miracle of a touchdown throw at the end of that game. Take us through that play and what you saw. So the ball was on the ground.
Yeah.
You pick it up, scramble, you're going out of bounds to throw it up. Thankfully, somebody was there wide open, caught it. Mm-hmm. And that's when some of the history started for you guys in that game. So just take us through that play and what you saw.
Obviously, we needed to score. And I don't even know. I hiked the ball, and I went to roll out to the left, I think, and it just slipped out of my hand. I don't know what happened. And all I knew was I had to pick up the ball and try to make something happen at least. So I picked it up, and I turn around and just immediately go to the sideline. I'm just running straight to the sideline.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember back.
Just to try to not lose a bunch of yards, right?
Yeah.
Just to get back to the line.
And I remember playing video games. I used to fumble the ball, and you could still throw it. You still
roll out, throw it deep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, I can still throw it, so I don't just got to run. And then I seen everybody come at me, all like the defense, and I was like, oh shoot, Colin's open down there, and I just threw it up. I knew if I put it in his area, he'd catch it, and then he just ran to the end zone.
Because you guys were down 6-0, right? So you tied the game, and then you got to pick 6 after that, right?
Yeah.
How was that for you as the coach in that moment? Because there was a fumble, the ball was on the ground, you don't know what's going to happen, and then he just throws it up.
Well, obviously, anytime the ball hits the ground, your heart kind of sinks. But to be honest, Bronson's pass rush the whole game was just absolutely brutal. And part of me wonders if when he dropped the ball, if that didn't put them on their heels just for a little bit, because their pass rush had just been absolutely brutal the whole game. That's a really good football team. And then once he broke containment and got outside, and then I knew anything could happen there, even if he made a long run, or in this case, he made a great throw to Colin.
Looking at who you have returning this year, besides Austin, you've got your quarterback, you've got Colin Griffiths, J.J. Russ, just to name a couple. But I imagine are the expectations even higher now because of what you guys accomplished last year?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think last year we proved that we can win the big games, and we can obviously make it deep in the playoffs, or deeper, I should say. But I think our expectations for this year is we obviously still have room to improve, but if we work just as hard, probably harder than we worked last year, that we can make it farther in the playoffs. And that's a goal that I think we all have in the back of our head.
Mm-hmm. What are your expectations, Coach, for your defense this year? Because you've got a new defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah, Dino's going to step up. I mean, I'm still going to be right there with him. Mm-hmm. But he's done a great job, done a lot of – nothing's going to change for us. I mean, he has a pretty good understanding of what we do defensively, and I'm gonna be right there in the sit pocket, and I'm not too concerned at all with him being first-year defensive coordinator. We've got a lot of guys coming back, and I think our D line, if they stay healthy, will be really, really good. And if you got a good defensive line, I think that'll set the tone for everybody behind them.
You have two really good non-league games this year. You start off the year with Hudson. You're a Hudson alum, right?
Yes, sir.
So I know week one will hit home for you playing Hudson. And then you got Monroe St. Mary, week 9. Both of them, obviously not easy. Hudson, and you know how good Hudson is. Just talk about both of those games and the challenges and the test that'll give you and your guys.
Well, they're historically good football teams. I mean, they've been good for, generations, really. And they're physical. They both like to run the football. I mean, they're who we're trying to be. And if we can survive a couple of teams like that, I think we'll be, ready for Division 7 playoffs.
Austin, what are your guys' team goals? I know obviously you want to try to repeat back-to-back in the conference. Any other team goals and any other personal goals for you this year?
I think as a team, our goal is to get better every week, every day, really.
Great answer.
We strive to get 1% better each practice, each time we are on the field. And I feel like if throughout the season we just continue to get better, at the end of the season when we're set to peak, that we will, and that it will just make those games that much easier for us.
Coach, what does this team need to do over the next month to continue to get better and start 1-0?
Well, we got camp going on this week. We have 2 days, and it's the best camp that I've had since I've been here. These guys have been absolutely amazing. One coach made a comment to me yesterday. He goes, "Man, it feels like we're in week 2 or week 3 at this point for how well they're coming together and getting after it. And the attitudes have been amazing, and I couldn't be more excited for these guys. They're working hard, and at the end of the day, that's about all I ask, is have a great attitude and work hard. And then whatever happens after that, I think working hard takes care of most of it."
Good luck to both of you and your entire team this year. I know we're looking forward to a few games of Hanover on JTV, so good luck this year, guys. Thank you.
Hey, thank you guys very much.
JTV High School Football Media Days here at Jackson High School. Happy to have back on the show again this year. The home of the Vikings, into his 5th year, head coach Antonio Parker. Coach, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's talk briefly about last year. 2-7. I know that's not at all what you or the guys wanted. Couple one-score losses, had a few injuries later on. So just reflect on last year and your thoughts and why it maybe ended up the way it did at the end of last year.
And you said it best right there. 2-7. But if you look back at the schedule, outside of Adrian, at halftime, we're either leading by a touchdown or tied or down by a touchdown. So a lot of those games we were in, ready to rock and roll. So Western comes to mind, Ypsi Lincoln comes to mind, another one that comes to mind. Those two particularly come to mind right away. Just a lot of ball didn't go our way that game for whatever reason. And so but now honestly, sometimes you need, it's gonna sound crazy coming from a coach, sometimes you need those 2-7 seasons to help you grow. And so I think that's what's happened now for this group. That they've been able to see what not necessarily what failure looks like, but they've been able to see to feel like what it doesn't feel like to lose. And I always say to them, when we compete, sometimes we lift weights in the morning with those guys during the school year, and I always say to them, you guys want to win, I don't want to lose. When we're competing in the weight room, and then now they're starting to getting what I'm saying, because they don't like the feeling of the loss. So in all honesty, that's kind of the way it's gone. So I think these guys are looking forward to kind of getting that resentment out of them and moving forward with the program.
You still had some bright spots from some of the guys, and you have a lot of skill and you have a lot of speed on your team. So what excites you about some of the leaders and who you'll have stepping up this year?
I'm excited for all of our guys, honestly. Necessarily don't want to point out, like one particular guy, but we got some dudes just all over the field skill-wise. And even up front, the starts with those guys up front, and they've done a great job. Cam Walker, Jaden Roy, Oscar Chavez, DeJuan Hood, and Michael Smith are coming junior. They've gonna really cement themselves. The 4 seniors, Cam, Jaden, Oscar, and DeJuan, have played since they were sophomores for me as on varsity. So they've went through their fair share of adversity there, and so now it's time for them to kind of stand on top of the mountain and work for what they have. Michael Smith has really emerged as a great junior that's coming along, and he's really done a great job this offseason between he's gotten the wrestling room with Coach Dry and Coach Slater and did a really good job wrestling, and he's gotten really, really strong. And so looking forward to seeing what Michael Smith can do for us also. So up front, we got some good things happening. Alonzo Harden is another one up front that's going to really, really do some great things for us offensively and defensively. But skill-wise, I can't speak enough about our guys. We got too many to name, but we got skill guys all over the place. And so calling plays, I'm going to have a tough time getting all these dudes the ball. And so, but it's one ball to go around. But no, as long as these guys learn how to continue to share the ball and do well, they'll be fine.
So I have to ask, one of my favorite games last year was the Western game. I thought that was an awesome game. It was like very back and forth.
Gotcha.
You have them again week 1.
Correct.
What adjustments do you think you've made this year to kind of have a different result? I know it's here as well.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, we just got to finish. Honestly, we've got to finish. We got to get rid of negative plays. I think if you look back at that game and going back and watch it a few times, that's kind of sour, but go back and watch it a few times. And we left some plays out there. It was a few big plays that were called back due to penalties or whatever else the case may be, and we let go of a few, if I remember right. Western scored on, I think, 2, maybe 1 4th down conversion, I think 1 3rd down, if I remember right. And so we left some plays out there that we should have had back, that we should have not let go. And so, but Cody does a good job with the program and their team. They coach really well, and at the end of the day, you win or you lose. And so we've just got to grow from that. So we got to let go of negative plays. Finish the game out. Finish those plays that went out there. I always say it to the kids all the time. When you got a chance to score, you score, right? Or vice versa. When you got a chance to get off the field on 4th down, get off the field. When first down leads, obviously first down leads to touchdowns. So when you get to 3rd down and you get to the money down, get off the field. And when you can get off the field, because sometimes what happens is we're so focused on what happens at the very end of the game. Oh man, we lost this play because the last play of the game. No, we lost this game because we lost this play in the second quarter, right? A second quarter, or third quarter, whatever that possession may be. So when you can get off the field, get off the field. I particularly remember Jaden Willis catching I think it was a trick play, if I remember right. It was like 3rd and a mile, and my corner, I don't know what he was doing, but he was doing what he was doing, and Jaden Willis scores a big touchdown, I think right before the half, or I can't remember what it was. Anyway, it was a huge turn there, and so then there was another one down on their end toward the scoreboard that they scored, I think, on 3rd or 4th down. So 14 points right there off the board, so we got to just do a good job at finishing, getting off the field, and I think we'll do a better job of that. I think these guys they're seeing the small details now. I think last year, big picture was like, hey, we got to win games. Like, nah, you got to focus on small details. Small details is doing your job one play at a time, and making sure the biggest thing that we've kind of focused on is making sure we're doing our 1/11, so to speak. What is our alignment, assignment, execute, and so make sure I'm aligned right, make sure I got my assignment right, and execute my whatever I'm doing, whether that's running the ball, whether it's blocking, whether it's tackling, whatever that may be. Just making sure you're doing your 1/11 the right way and doing it the right way every single time.
You've had several of your guys getting looked at by colleges, a couple of them with offers. I know that excites you to see them get that recognition.
It does. One of the biggest goals of the program I've always kind of made sure I wanted to make sure we do is to make sure our young people have a chance to go to college to play football. And even if it's not football, that they have a chance to go do something else outside of football. And so I feel like my biggest job is not just coaching football. I feel like my biggest job is helping these young people get on the platform they desire. So whether that's college football, whether that's trade school, whether that's whatever it may be, getting them to college, getting them to college or getting them to trade school, getting them to be, or if they want to enter the workforce. And so I pride myself on making sure that all of our seniors, when they come through our program, they have a platform to jump from, no matter the platform that it is. But obviously, one of the biggest goals is to make sure that those guys have a place to, if they want to go play college football. I think my biggest job is to find them a place to go. And so Jaden Ramirez has a few offers, Cam Walker does, and so does Kenyon Dunklin. Looking forward to seeing Oscar Chavez and DeJuan Hood and Takai Esquick get some opportunities if they decide, and so Jaden Moore also.
Last year, a lot of your plays, you get the ball out quick, let your guys with speed, let them do their thing. Is that changing at all?
No, really the same. I'm just a signal caller this year in terms of calling plays and just rolling through it. And so had to make some changes there. We lost one of our offensive line coaches. Isaiah Fleming went to the college ranks to go coach at Kalamazoo College, and so Coach Dillon, probably the longest tenured staff member on our staff, by default and by definition is an offensive line guru, and so asked him to go back and coach offensive line. So that kind of had to switch some things around for me, and I decided to call plays. At the end of the day, the program's in my hands, and if we're going to do this, I'm going to do it the way we see fit. And so I decided to start calling plays and kind of more of the same, and just getting guys going and just continue to get the ball out on the edge fast as we can and making plays, man, and just making sure that those guys can get the ball going and do what they got to do.
I know you mentioned a couple names a minute ago, but who are some of the younger guys or the newer faces that we might see this year, and what excites you about those guys?
Although Kylan Davis is not a younger name, he's going to be a name that's going to be around for a while. He's a incoming junior. He's played for me since he's a freshman. And so every year, Kylan has grown leaps and bounds. And I think more than anything else this year, Kylan's got the physical tools. He's always had those. I think more than anything else, Kylan's mental game has really, really come along. He's mentally a whole lot stronger than he was last year. Kylan Davis, to name the younger guys coming up, I think Kylan Davis is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Jaden Potts is going to be an absolute monster, I think, at some point throughout this year and the next year to come. Caleb Gibbs is a workhorse, and I think he's continuing to get stronger in the weight room. He's a gym rat. And Michael Smith, Alonzo Harden. So we got some young guys coming up through the ranks. It's going to be really good. Really excited to see what my quarterbacks can do. Nehemiah Jones, in particular here, sophomore quarterback that's probably going to eventually earn some time as we go through this whole thing. And so he's coming along. I don't want to throw him in the fire right away necessarily, but I think it's hard for me to tell him no right now because he's throwing the ball really well and he's starting to learn everything he needs to learn, and he can sling the ball really well, and so he's going to be okay. Yanko Flores is a junior, is continuing to emerge and doing some good things for our program also. So to name a few, so the Viking program won't be necessarily losing anything when those seniors are done. We're just going to get to the point where we're just reloading, and kind of going. And so looking forward to seeing those guys. Got some great incoming freshmen also coming in. So we got some good things going, and some more sophomores that are just too many guys to name, but we got some great sophomores, and we got a great incoming freshman class. Got some big fellas in that freshman class. That's what I'm more excited about anything else, because you got to have the dudes up front to move the ball. Right. And so I'm looking forward to what the Viking future holds, but this year's going to be great, and this year's just going to put us back on a trajectory where we should be anyway.
Two of your non-league games, we talked about Western week 1, and then you got Northwest week 9 to round out the regular season. So all three of the biggest schools in the area playing each other. You can imagine that excites, the team and Viking community just for local rivalry, all getting to play each other.
Correct. And I think that's really important, man, to be able to. Jackson's a unique place. You got 9 high schools in about a 13-mile radius. Yeah. And so Jackson High being the biggest high school in town, and then you got Northwest and Western right behind us. So I think like you said, you got 3 of the biggest high schools in the community playing each other. That says a lot, and that's going to that's what community should be, right?
Right.
When you think about high school, you should think about it should be local rivalries and local games, right? Teams that. It's nothing like being able to say, hey, we're one of the better ones in the city. And so we go from there. So I think it's going to be a really good thing for the community, and I think it's going to bring Jackson out to do what we do. And it's going to be fun to see.
Before we go, what's it going to take to turn this thing around this year? Before last year, you made the playoffs 6 of the last 7 years. What's it going to take to get back in the postseason?
Got to win August 10th. Got to win August 10th, first day of practice. Got to win August 10th. Obviously, we've done a good job in the spring and the summer and with our conditioning and stuff in the winter. But we got to win August 10th. We got to win August 10th. Got to have a good practice August 10th and got to roll from there. Got to stack the days from there and just keep going and just, again, stack the days, get correction, and move forward. Always looking forward to growing and getting better and getting stronger. And so I think the more we can do that, the more we'll be better.
Coach, we're looking forward to week 1 here against Western. So thanks for spending a couple minutes with us. Good luck this year. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Go Vikings.
JTV High School Football Media Days. Happy to welcome back to the show again this year from Jackson High School and from the Northwest Mounties, Stafford Newsome, the head coach, going into his 5th year. Coach, thanks you again. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having us.
3-6 last year. It seems like the last couple of years had some close games. You're right there with a chance to make the playoffs each of the last couple of years. Last year, 3 losses by 1 score. Just kind of reflect on last year. And again, like I just mentioned, you had last couple of years. You're right there. You can get a couple wins to turn around and potentially get a playoff spot. So just kind of reflect on last year.
Sure. So last year, 3-6, like you said, we lost 3 games by a total of 14 points or 2 possessions combined. Opportunity to learn from those and get better from those, grow from those. But we don't want to look back at the end of the season and have the same conversation. Our goal is, if it's a 1-possession game, we win it. And there were a few last year that we did win that were 1-possession games. But we are also, as a program and as a district, figuring out how to win those games, and it's coming. So big part is a lot of our guys that we had here today, our captains, they played meaningful minutes, very meaningful minutes last year, and we're not starting from ground zero. We're starting with guys who played a lot of minutes, and now they're either in their junior or senior year, and they have varsity experience. So those 3 wins go the opposite way this year.
How have the numbers been so far this summer?
Really good as a program. Past 2 days of camp, we've had 71 kids each day. And, we got to take probably better attendance and figure out, because yesterday we had 4 kids that couldn't make it day 1. So we still were at 71. So 4 kids missed somewhere else. But really good. And then we lift weights or work out Monday through Friday every morning at 8 a.m. Numbers in the weight room have been amazing. They've been great. The consistency of guys showing up and working hard and pushing each other has been awesome to watch.
What kind of numbers are you expecting program-wide for this year?
My guess would be somewhere between 80 and 85. Last year we were able to, for the first time since I can remember, I've been at Northwest since 2010 when I student taught, we ran 3 levels of high school football successfully for all 9 weeks. I'm not sure we're there. I think we'll have the numbers, but we just won't have the mixture of guys. For what we do, if we don't have, 7 or 8 linemen for JV and freshman team, we can't really do it. And then we're sending those guys a year back. So we might have 2 levels, but our numbers are still going to be high. And when we first took over, we had 54 in the program 5 years ago at this point. And like I said, we had 71, but guesses we'll probably end up around 80, 85.
So you're going to have some new faces this season. You're going to have a new quarterback, a couple of new running backs, some new linemen. But what excites you about the new guys you have coming up?
Ability to be good teammates and be coachable. Right now we have a quarterback competition going on with Dennis Graham and Jonathan Osterberg. Both can throw the ball really, really well. The other part of that is whoever isn't that guy is going to be on the field because they can both run routes and catch the ball really, really well as well. Some new running backs back there. Rodeo is going to be our bell cow and carry the most. Offensive line, we're young, but we're deep. So we have a sophomore is going to be our center. Peyton Huey, number 73, would be our right tackle, who has now been on varsity for 4 years. And then the rest of them are juniors. And we're excited for this year for them, and because we're not expecting them to play like juniors. We're expecting them to play like seniors. And then next year we get them again. So we're very excited for all that. And defensively, we're switching some stuff up from an odd front to an even front. And we have guys back there. Tobin Seeley came up last year and played with us as a sophomore, was one of our best defenders on the field. He's going to be the guy in the middle calling the plays. Grayson Souls is a guy that's all over the field on defense. And he's only going to be a junior. So we're really happy about having those guys back for another 2 years.
So I have to ask, my favorite game every year, Northwest versus Western. I feel like that rivalry is one of the best around here. So how important is it to win that game? And I know you guys were extremely close last year. So what kind of adjustments do you think you guys are going to make this year to try to get that win?
I think first and foremost, I think it was even closer than people look at that game. Go back and watch it. I know it's a 4-point game at the end of it all, but it's not, in my mind, a 4-point game at all. I thought JTV did a really good job of capturing a play that we had that I think is a touchdown catch in a high school football game, and make that extra point. That's 7 point or 4 points swing because we settled for a field goal. That we would be up 10-0, and that's 2 possession game in the first quarter. We ended up losing that game by 4 points. So there's the difference. That being said, we still had everything we wanted in front of us to win that game. I think a big part of it is last year. When the game was going our way, we were high on emotions, and I'll be the first one to admit that I'm guilty of that. I get pretty high on the sideline with emotions. I totally understand, but I think that goes back to our guys. We're learning how to win games, and we're going to close them out this year. So, great rivalry. Do we want to win it? By all means, but right now we got to worry about Loy Norks in week 1, and then worry about week 2 after that.
You mentioned Rododo a second ago. We hear his name a lot, on the basketball court, but he brings a lot of speed. And I know you said he's going to be a big part of your team this year, so I can imagine you're excited to see him continue to develop and get better. And what we've seen from him already in football and basketball, and he's just going into his sophomore year too.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know it. They just asked over here who's like the most emotional guy on the team and who's the calmest, and they said Ro was the calmest. He's just
really.
You'll never know. I don't know if the kid's heartbeat has ever gone up at all. Probably because he's such a good athlete and trains so much. But as good as athlete as he is, he's a better human being. He is, and he is so freaking coachable. I know last year we were trying to tell him to slow down a little bit when we run counter, and he didn't look down at me figuratively. He's just taller than me.
He just wanted to get in and run.
Yeah, and he looks down at me. He's like, I don't like to run like that, coach. I said, well, I need you to watch it because it's a difference in a 4-yard gain and 12-yard gain or a touchdown. And he watched it. He's like, oh, I see it now. He goes back in, and it would have been like a 78-yard touchdown, but we blew the whistle at 50. It was in practice. Super coachable. He's the hardest high school working athlete I've ever seen in my life. And I've been around a lot. But he was just voted to be captain by his peers as a sophomore. I think that speaks a lot to how positive he is and how good of a teammate he is. Yes, he's a good athlete. I know he's a really good basketball player personally. I think his ceiling is higher in football. But I think either way he decides to go, he's going to be okay.
Last year came out Power I. You really wanted to emphasize running the football. Is that going to change in any way?
Well, that's who we are. That's our identity. That's who I am. Okay, and I think you look at the Lions. I think the team really does take on their coach's attitude or persona. I don't think everybody on the Detroit Lions wants to fight someone in a phone booth, but I think Dan Campbell does. So when they all get together, they're okay to do it. We will have Power I. We will get in it when we need to eat the clock. But we got guys, too, that we may be more spread this year than we ever have been in the past. Probably a lot of twins and pro formation, twins in our right and left. We have, Dallas Higgermeyer has moved into our district. He was at Springport last year, all-state wide receiver. He's pretty good. Very coachable young man as well. And it's like, hey, if we have Rowe in the backfield, he's out there. Someone's got to pick their poison. Dennis Graham, if he's running routes for us out there in the slot, he's got great hands. Another kid that has a high ceiling in basketball as well. So I think for us, like right now, this would be our 3rd day, but we have 2 days of camp. We have put in things that we've never ran in 4 years since we've been here. Our kids know the Power I. We can line up in that and run it pretty good, pretty well. But the other offenses, the spreads, the trips, the doubles, the pro formations, those are going to be a much bigger part of our playbook this year.
Well, that's another thing I know you really want to emphasize, too, is ball control and taking control of time of possession, right?
Yep. I think we will have the ability to eat the clock. I think we'll have the ability to score quickly, too.
So you opened the year with Loy Norks and Adrian, again, just like last year. You beat Loy Norks last year and then lost to Adrian. That was another really good game, too. They came down to it.
Yeah, we led the entire game to 1:10 left, and then their backup quarterback had came in. We had him for a sack, throws a touchdown pass, and we believe we're going to still win, and we threw a pick on that play and probably should have been Probably should have been a flag on it, as refs told me the next day at youth football, but it doesn't matter now. So,
what excites you about those 2 non-league games? And Lloyd Norrick's being in Division One, to get in the playoffs now, playoff points are huge. So having a team in Division One,
sure, absolutely. A lot of excitement. First thing is week one. It's week one. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You're finally putting on pads and hitting someone else in a different color jersey. For Lloyd Norrick to be a Division One team and obviously a lot of playoff points on the line, and then take it a step further, they have an offensive tackle who's rated the #1 tackle in the state of Michigan, going to the University of Michigan. We're told over here that our right tackle is one of the best in the area, if not the state of Michigan, and I agree with that. So my goal is, a game within a game, I'd love to see what our right tackle does against their Division One tackle. Last year I thought we held our own pretty well against it, but they have a new coach as well, so we don't know what to expect from them offensive-wise or defensive-wise or, discipline-wise from their guys, but we can't control that either. We can control getting in our bear set, running our spread correctly, running our defense correctly, special teams being a big third of the game, and doing what we can.
We got an intervention behind you. How much do these guys mean to you?
They mean a lot. My wife and I have our own 6 kids. This is a shout out to her. We just bought a 12-passenger van. I'm trying to have her fill it up. But on the other side of that too, like, these are our kids too. Okay, they're not our blood, but they know if they need something, we're going to do our best to help them. If they text us at 2 a.m., we're going to try to respond as soon as we can and be there for them. And I expect that from them for each other too, not to me, but if one of them try to get a hold of each other, the other one should be there for them.
Of course, you guys always play Western, but then week 9, you've got Jackson on your schedule too. I asked Coach Bentley the same thing. All 3 of the biggest schools in the area playing each other. How much? I can imagine that excites you too, just for a local rivalry.
It does, and going back to the Adrian question, like next year we're in the SEC, so we'll be playing Adrian every year and Jackson High every year, and we would love to keep Parma on the schedule moving forward too, or maybe even try to get them into the SEC, and then it takes care of itself. But week 9, I know when the season hits, it's a blink away. But in all reality, we have no idea what teams look like in week 9 because one injury could change, one guy going down, the next guy being moved, and another guy being moved to his with a domino effect. So we're excited to play Jackson High. Haven't really thought about it that much so far.
What do these guys behind you need to do in the rest of the team this next month to prepare for the season and start 1-0?
Remember that they're kids and have fun with the game of football. Because whether you're a kid or a 14-year vet in the NFL, football's not forever. And I say that, and I want to coach till the day I die. But playing football is not forever, and they got to remember that they're kids. They want to be friends with these guys, make lifetime memories, and continue to be coachable. And the momentum we've had the past 2 days carry that forward.
Coach, best of luck this season. Always appreciate the time, and good luck to you guys too.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Coach Stafford Newsome here on JTV. So thank you to all the coaches, as always, for chatting with us at Media Day, and thank you again to Hanover and Jackson, and just talked to Stafford Newsome from Northwest. So all 3, Hanover may be more than the other 2, just my opinion. Hanover should have another really strong year. They're not losing a whole lot. Everybody who was key to that playoff run last year is back for them. All the key pieces for Jackson are returning. And Northwest will be interesting. They have a new quarterback. They have a couple other new skill guys that are starting this year. But they still have some leaders on the line. And you still have Rododo running the ball for them.
Yeah.
So one of these years, they got to get back in the playoffs.
This might be the one.
I'm not counting 2020 because it was the COVID year and everybody made the playoffs because they didn't play as many games. So before that, it's been a long time since they made the playoffs. Yeah. They've certainly got the number of kids in the school to do it. They have the numbers. So I think it's just a matter of continuing to get better for Northwest. Sure. So we will see Jackson, again, week 1 at home against Western. So before we wrap up, A couple of Lions news, now that they're back at camp and they're back to practicing again. Detroit Lions center Cade Mays suffered a wrist injury during a recent training camp practice and will miss a, quote, significant period of time, according to head coach Dan Campbell. A source told NFL Network that he fractured a small bone in his wrist and he is going to be sidelined roughly 8 to 10 weeks. Also, running back Isaiah Pacheco sprained his MCL and will miss some time, but Dan Campbell said we could expect him to return for week 1 against the Saints, and he's, quote, not concerned about the injury. And Teddy Bridgewater announced his retirement from the Lions.
Yeah, I could see it. Dan Campbell wasn't so happy. He was he wasn't mad, but I just think he was like disappointed, I guess, that was going to be it. But obviously happy for Teddy Bridgewater. Hope everything goes great in his life moving forward. I don't know if he still has a job coaching that high school team or whatever he was doing before.
Probably not now because he got in trouble for something that was
Oh, that's right.
totally way out of proportion.
Yeah, I forgot
Totally
about that.
not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he gets to do something cool. You know. I love
Well, you can't buy the
him.
kids cheeseburgers if you're recruiting
That's
them.
right. Which is so dumb. The his let's just
In-N-Out is really good. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
like
right?
that?
Like it's burgers. It's not like you're buying them a 5-star dinner. Just talk real quick about Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously his career kind of got cut short as the guy because of his injuries, but he had a few years there where he played extremely well.
He did. I think if he started now, he'd be better than a handful of starting quarterbacks on some of the worst teams.
He could have had longevity too, again, if it wasn't for the injuries. But, I mean, he had that one really bad concussion. He had a few other bad injuries. But when he was playing for the Vikings, I thought he was going to be a problem. And it just didn't end up panning out. But good for him to finally call it a day, got his money, and now he's going to hopefully enjoy some retirement.
Yeah, I think he could be better than, just talking bottom of the barrel here, better than any of the Jets quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
He could be
they're gonna
better
bad.
than Shadur Sanders.
Yeah.
Because he's overrated.
I know one person that's not going to like that take that you just said. I know a huge Shadur Sanders fan that's not going to like that.
And?
Perfect response. Perfect
And?
response.
He's not good. He's not good. Colorado wasn't that good either.
Speak the truth, David. Speak
It
the
is
truth.
the truth. Definitely better than Cam Ward. I know Cam Ward has talent, but the Titans suck.
Their whole offensive line is so bad,
Oh,
dude.
my God.
They need help.
So anyways, we will miss Teddy Bridgewater. So now the Lions just signed Josh Dobbs to be the backup quarterback.
Yep, and we'll see what happens there. But hopefully we don't have to use him, Hopefully it's just going to be Jared Goff the whole way. And hopefully Pacheco does come back in time. The Mays one was more concerning for me. I did not like hearing that Mays is going to be out for part of the regular season. But if there's a time for it to happen, I guess right now is the best time, at least going forward.
Because that was one piece where the Lions could improve on a little bit was the line.
Yeah.
Especially having a retirement, but now an injury. So this was just added on to it for the line.
But
for
on top of everything, you have to look at the Lions, I think, do have the easiest schedule in football.
Oh, and another thing with the Lions, by the way, Jahmyr Gibbs got paid.
He finally did. Okay, I hadn't heard anything yet.
Yes.
Nice.
He did get
Good for
paid.
him. Did you see the social media video where they took an extension cord and the social media manager handed it over to Jahmyr Gibbs and he's like, "What's this?" And they're like, "It's your extension. We finally got you your extension."
Oh.
And they had him sign it. I was like, that'd be a funny piece of memorabilia to get is a signed extension
No, I did
cord.
not see that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
I'm trying to find his,
Like how much?
yeah.
He's got to be. I mean, I would assume it's more than Bijan, or at least close, right around there.
Yeah, it'll be 3 years, 67.5.
Woo-wee. That's nice.
So,
Good for him. Locked him down for a few years.
yep, he is now the NFL's highest paid running back.
Wow. Good for him.
Um,
Deserves it.
And back to the football media days. started last week. Each day we have 1 to 2 of our football team preview articles you can find online at jtv.tv plus on our socials.
Yep.
So it's got the preview, some of the key players for all 20 area teams. We've got Matt Kibbe with all the head coach interviews, and of course any of the select ones that we have on our show. We have a link to those videos on there as well when they come out each week for us. So team previews are all online at jtv.tv and on our socials as well. So, of course, follow the David Rice Show on Facebook. So we'll keep you updated on the Tigers and a little more high school sports content. 2 weeks from today is when high school sports officially begin.
Nice.
Our coverage for our Center for Family Health scoreboard and our orthopedic rehab specialist photo galleries. Monday, August 24th.
Ooh.
August is flying by.
Yes, it is.
But we're looking forward to it. And, of course, Season 27 on Friday, August 28th will be live. Dungy Field, Withington Stadium, Jackson High School. Western did not have a very good memory last time they played at Jackson. That was a playoff thriller, 2022, where Jackson walked it off in the first round of the playoffs on the last play. They snuck it in over the plane to advance.
Good game. That was another great game.
It was. So that's going to do it for us. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Thank you to Prate's Place. Huge week for the Tigers. We will be locked in on our TV
Go
screen every night.
Tigers.
So go Tigers. Talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.